Hello, everybody. How are we doing? All right. Just get the chat up. Right. Let me just see it. Purple Fishmans, are those your favourites? I really love the Fishmans. They've got 4 guitars. I've got 4 guitars with different model pickups. Yes, they are my favourite. I've got how many guitars? I've got 2 guitars with the McLaughlin signature pickups in, and I suppose yes, they are my favourite. Yeah, I absolutely love them. Having said that, I really like the classics as well. The Fishman classics are really good. And I might even equally like. No, I definitely like the McLaughlin ones better. I just like the splits better on those. Really good. Even though I've got some Fishman classics wired the same way. So yeah. Okay, what else we got? Morning, Stelly. Is that a monster burst in your profile picture, Enzo? Good morning, love the hoodie. Yeah. So I bought a load of these from Betterdy, BETDY is the company, and they have absolutely like tons of stuff. But what it was is I was running out of ideas for my stream. And then I was like, of what I could do, stuff to put in, lighting to do, and I was like, what else can I improve? Oh yeah, like improve yourself. So I do take up quite a big bit of the picture, and I just thought, well, get something warm to wear, or warmer than a t-shirt, and more bright than a jacket. So stumbled on this website, and here we've got the Boba Fett hoodie. So it looks good, doesn't it? Like it totally upgrades the stream, wearing a different top. Because it accounts for literally a quarter of the picture, doesn't it? That's not the guitar I currently own. I need to change my picture. It's about 5 years old. All right. Or you could get a guitar like it, Enzo, and then you can keep the picture, can't you? Brilliant. All right. Well, anybody who's new on here and the title has caught your eye, well, we are going to do some some fretboard visualization things, right? I'll just go through the way that I've done it over the many years that I've been playing guitar. I'll just walk through it, okay, and we'll see where we end up. So it's just really, I'll be talking about as many sort of different techniques and things that I've done to kind of build the picture up, okay, of the fretboard. So that's all really exciting. Also, if you're new, do like and subscribe. That would be great. That's always a massive help. Because there'll be more stuff like this, So, plenty of guitar stuff. Like, this year I'm really doubling down on my guitar, but the technology side, fear not, has not been forgotten. And at some point I'm gonna be rescheduling the lives. In fact, partly that's gonna happen this week, I think. So the idea is that I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday stream, and I'm going to do a Wednesday evening stream so people can catch me. So I've got a Wednesday evening free at the minute, and then potentially we can do a Thursday and a Friday, or another weekday, and then I was thinking of doing like a Saturday every other fortnight for a couple of hours on an evening. Because like one of the problems I've had with this channel is my streaming times never like totally sits with anybody. So that'll be good for the people who can't make it, who want to make the live, that can get on there. So I'll just be doing that, I think. Oh, good. You're going to get one. That's good. Upgraded macOS to the latest version. I'm surprised. All right. What are you surprised about? Good surprises. Good day. Hope you're well. And good day, everybody. Hi, Hippie. Do you know the new times? Yes, I do. So on a Wednesday, I think it'll be 7, about 7 till 9 is what I'll do. 7 till 9. I think that looks a bit good. Looks okay. I say looks okay is because I was looking at my I was looking at the analytics on YouTube now as I look at them, and that's one of my hotspots. Hi Chris, how you doing? Good to see you. So, and then on a Saturday it'll be probably about the same time as well, but they'll be up round about 24 hours in advance, I would imagine, with some sort of a theme. Spent the weekend practicing 313s. I really enjoyed mucking around with it. I have a load of fun playing with the harmonic on the harmonic minor scale as a 313 pattern. I'm sold. I just need to work on my speed. Brilliant. Oh, well, that's really good. Well, 313s are like a total game changer. Just like really good, you know. It's yeah, I mean, it's really helped me sort of develop a bit of a style, really, using it. And I don't think you can overuse it, you know. I think the only thing is with 313, I mean, you can do legato with it, but if you want to pick it, you're gonna have to do economy picking, aren't you? Really. See what I've got. Tune. Right, fretboard visualization. Where to start? Right. Oh, good. I've been enjoying material from that's been good. I'm glad people are like going back to it and finding it useful. That's really good. So, fretboard visualization. What do we do about it? Okay. Well, a number of things. Okay. So I think the first thing is, last week we did basically all of our scales, didn't we? Because we're doing modes. I gave everybody. We learned basically the major scale or minor scale, C major, the entire fretboard, and we did that 3 notes per string. Okay. So obviously that's kind of going horizontally, aren't we? Vertically, I should say. Getting confused here. We're going vertically, but we're not really doing anything horizontally. And I think like the thing for me with guitar it's always been about connecting patterns. And I must admit, I do get a real buzz out of doing that, connecting patterns. And even though I'm a bit like Homer Simpson and have those moments, I'm like, oh, I've just realised, it was there all the time. Even now, with the most basic of things, I get a real buzz out of it, to be fair. So one way to connect patterns, right, and can sound quite cool to start off with, is we can connect them like octave repeat is what I call it. Okay, so we'll move into a different key, and we're going to have a look at E minor. So what do I mean about this? Well, we'll just go to the relative sort of major scale, right? And here we have it, okay? And this is our first position. Okay. Now, a really good way to sort of link patterns and to get about the fretboard is to visualize chunks of the scale, certain constellations where they repeat, okay? So this is a good place to start. So what I'll do is take this, and we can just octave repeat it. And the cool thing about that is we've got 6 notes. So pretty much we've got 6 notes, 7 notes is the total in the scale. We've got quite, we've got most of the scale there. So I'll just go through that again. We've got G major, 3 notes per string. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat it every octave. So we've got G. Okay. And then if we think of the notes, we've got root, major second or 9, major third, 4 or 11, 5th, 6 or 13. And then we simply just jump up an octave. We end up here. But then what we can do is we can find little points where we can jump off and go to different areas of the scale. And you can start building connections to other areas, okay? And the way that I would then do that is just then have a look at what's either side of that particular finger pattern, yeah? So sliding down here sounds good. So it's just a question of having a look around what's happening either side of that scale, okay, that little fragment. Now we've got these constellations of notes all over the place, so this kind of fragment of G major, we also have another constellation of that, which happens up here. So it's just the same thing, okay? And we're starting on 10th fret. Now, and you can use whichever, and like fingering wise, okay, because you probably notice I'm swapping my fingers around. You need to be able to do both. It just depends on kind of what's happening, really. So you can either use 1, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 4. You know, and you're just making connections like literally all the time with this. So, what else can we connect to though? See, this is the thing. So we've got this other constellation. So interesting enough, if I'm in E minor, and we're using, say, and we're using like in conjunction with the pentatonic scale, the notes that we have here is we've got the 7th, we've got the root, we've got a 9th. Okay, we've got the minor 3rd, 4th, and the 5th. So that's a good position when you're doing sort of minor stuff where, you know, you might have a progression with, let's say, E minor, C major, because what we've got there is, or at least what we haven't got is, we haven't got the avoid notes. So all those notes are going to sound really, really good. In fact, it's what we call a hexatonic scale. So in other words, it's like a pentatonic scale, but it's just what's happening is we've just added in the 9th note. So the cool thing here is we can then start maybe making connections between this into like other pentatonic shapes, yeah? So we can now visualize, you know, that root position of the pentatonic with this. And then adding other notes in either side of that constellation. Connect it with the other constellation. We also get like a really cool what is this? C major 7 arpeggio, but we're starting from the G. If you miss the middle note, all I'm doing there is just 1 4 1 4 1 4 1 4. So that can sound quite cool. So it's like, yeah, so basically it's just about making connections around a constellation of notes, okay? So then we could visualize, if we went up this G major scale, we've got this constellation now. You see there, quickly like nipping back into that, I can then just jump up to my pentatonic scale. And I quite like that because it's like a minor 3rd jump, isn't it? Okay. everybody get the idea with that, constellations of notes. So an exercise to do is you could go up the scale, okay, looking at these constellations. So if I go back to sort of like, say, the natural minor scale that we had in A, what we could do is we could go up the entire scale. So for example, that would be your first constellation. So I'm doing 1, 2, 4, wide, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, jumping up an octave. And there's other things you could then think about. You could start thinking about, well, you know, the distance between these two notes when I'm playing in like C major or the C major scale. What is that? And actually, that's the root position. If we're looking at like, I don't think of the modes as the way that, just going back to modes, right? This is important. So the way, just like Thomas, I just think of things as major and minor, okay? And the majority, I'll just think of it as minor, even though I'm playing in a major, which sounds totally weird. But what I'm doing is I'm just chunking all the information down. The learning the modes was just, for me, a method of classification of a sound, okay? So I know that like Dorian, I can use that with a minor blues scale, and I know that it's got a major 6 sound, okay? So it's, to me, it's like a bit like a happy major scale. It sounds like a happy minor scale. It sounds a bit cheeky, you know. You've got that kind of major 6 sound. You know, you can sound like you're chasing bad guys over rooftops, you know, sort of sound. So the modes and the names are just really a classification of what I'm doing. But in terms of like in the moment and improvising, I don't think of it like modes. And sometimes I have to, you know, in an improvisational situation, if I wasn't sure, I might have to go back and analyze what I'm doing. So whenever I'm conversing keys with Thomas in the room, you'll only ever hear us say minor. You know, so for example, could be playing like an E major, and we'll be saying like, oh, we're in C sharp minor. And if we're jamming, and you know, one of us is playing chords, and we're in sort of like C sharp minor, we would just think of C sharp minor, but the actual chord progression, we might modulate to a completely different key modally within that. So I could then flip to E major. E major is in C sharp minor, if that makes sense. So that's just like how we think about it. But back to this, right? So this constellation of notes is sharp 4. That's actually Lydian, okay? So you could say it's a Lydian lick. In fact, actually, modes are quite probably useful for like getting people to come and watch your channel, because you've got like a searchable word, haven't you? This is a Lydian lick. But really what it is it's just part of A minor C major. So we can go up, all right, the scale, like this. Oops. And then so on. So you can just then go up building connections with these 6 notes ideas. And usually what you'll find, like me, is you'll find like little sort of areas. Oops, I did that last one wrong, didn't I? That's what I meant. And you'll find little areas which you like to improvise on. So I'm very much into sort of these constellations. Okay, so moving back, to what we were doing. So that's the first thing, constellations or not. Now, as a bonus, right, we can start, there's a couple of things we can do. We can start kind of inventing our own constellations of notes as well. And there's a couple of really cool ones. Now, one that I found, it's a Paul Gilbert one, right? And what we can do is we can have a scale and constellations of these notes without, there's another one you can use, okay, where we miss out the -6, right? So if we're in, let's have a look. Where do I want to be? Yeah, so if we look at E minor, what we can do is, instead of playing that, we can play this. And this is really cool because you get almost a little taste of pentatonic with your minor scale. In other words, it's a hexatonic scale which we can shred on. And I'm sure Thomas uses this on one of our songs on Distorted Dreams. It's the beginning of one of his solos. But what we've got is this. So we've got root, 9, minor third. And then this time what we've got is the 4th or the 11th, and then the root, and then we're just jumping up to the 7th. And that scale, that just repeats every octave. Yeah. So that's another good sort of little thing you can use. And of course there'll be different areas for that to happen. So if we're in E minor, we can use it down here. But beware, we get the -6 doing it there. Right, does that make sense? Right, so other things we can do, right, which are really cool for our visualization and our octave repeat scale fragments, is how about a blues scale, right? Hi there, Mac, how you doing? So we can take this, right? And we can repeat this every octave. So simply what I'm doing, if I want A blues, A minor blues, and I want it 3 notes per string to shred on, all I need to do is, so we've got root, minor third, and 4th all on one string. So I've put that there. And then, conveniently, we've got the flat 5 there. And that's all of the notes. Okay, now all we need to do is move it every octave, yeah? But what a great way to visualize, you know, the blues scale or the minor pentatonic, because we can see other areas, we can then start visualizing other little areas we can explore either side of these constellations of notes, yeah? Like there, if I just shift one back, I'm there. And you're flying about before you know it. So yes, like octave jumps, octave repeat, we'll call them. Very handy, okay? And of course, there's kind of 2 main positions for that. I would play that here. And then you've also got one up there as well. Okay, interesting. Hi, Paul. I think 3 shapes, short and long. Okay. I'd need you to just describe it a little bit more. But actually, how we classify things, right? As long as we know what it is, like I'm saying, oh, this is like octave repeat. As long as you know what it is, it doesn't really matter, because it's just a name to help you recall something. I think the main thing is like when you're in an improvisation session, like calling everything a minor or a major scale, you're just chunking information so you can recall it really quickly. That's the most common misconception when it comes to theory. People say it limits creativity, but it's the best tool. Yeah, I think. Well, I suppose, you know, when if you got a pure classical sort of education, then it seems to be that you use the long terminology for things, you know. But when we're improvising, we just want basically we just need to have the quickest shorthand information there, and that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about getting to the information as quickly as possible. So that's why, to me, you know, I'll refer to like scales as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because the notes are always good. If we use note names, the note names are always going to change depending what key we're on. But if we just use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's universal to all keys, isn't it? And then all you got to worry about is like what's flattened and what's sharpened. So it makes loads of sense, doesn't it, when you're learning? Right, fretboard visualization. Okay, so I hope everybody found that useful, but very basic idea. You just take 6 notes of your scale and repeat it. Okay, and we can do that with blues scale as well, and we can also use it with a scale where a minor scale where we miss out minor sixth. Okay. I use a whole step, half step, 1, 3, 5. Right. Okay. Yeah, so that's another really good thing to do. So, sort of visualizing. So this is like a big chunk of information, but then obviously we can have smaller chunks of information that we're using. So another way to visualize the fretboard, because there are many ways. So that's just one kind of quick hack way where we can just make like little, you know, it's a little fun thing to do. And we can kind of improvise either side of these constellations of notes to find new things. Another way of visualizing things is this. We can move my chart. What we can do. Just move my mic out of the way. I'm sure this mic's going to fall. Right. We can just think of all of the notes just on one string. Okay, that's no, and I think like one of the useful things about this, right? And this is something I should do more of. It's like the fretboard becomes like a piano then, because we can think of the fretboard like the guitar, like six pianos stacked on top of each other. So in other words, you know, E minor, open E, got our second, got our minor third, fourth, fifth, minor sixth, seventh, and root. So we can start picking out notes that way, and that's going to get us moving about. So like one exercise you can have is just improvising. So is that like short, long, short, long, long, short. Now this is really cool because it'll get us moving into different positions. And we're literally just going through the whole scale, learning each position on the fretboard. Okay. Cool exercises, just try. Just try improvising just on one string. Now, another cool thing about this is like different fingers are going to get you different access to the fretboard. So it's really good moving about with the first finger because we have all of our other fingers available to reach for other things. Okay. And the thing I've got to do is like I've got to stop the urge of them wanting to jump onto the second string. But then what we can do is we can combine two strings. So once you've sort of got this down, in fact, once you got that down, you can learn sequences, sort of 3 notes per string. And then what you can do is start combining 2 strings. So another way to find little things that are going on. So there we go. Cool. Right, any questions so far? I'm just going to try and chuck out as many sort of visual fretboard visualization stuff. But I think the one string thing's a really good one. I'm going to have my coffee and then I'm going to move on to something a little bit more advanced. Okay. Oh, right. Now. So I hope that's like helping so far. Then move it down 4 frets to get the major variation on the scale to make it happen. Oh, it's happy or sad. Well, or up 4 frets. Yeah, you can do, but it just depends. I'm not thinking of any particularly anything there. Let's just have a look. Like a little thing in the background here. going to quickly build like a drum thing for us. Okay. Okay. Helps when you have a backing track, doesn't it? All right. Just check on the chat. So basically, I've got this track and I've got E minor, and all I'm thinking about is E minor. Okay, it's just an E minor 9 chord playing in the background. But if the chord changed, right? We've got that C with G, C with a G sound. Basically, if I'm playing over that, that's going to be, and that's the start and the end of the piece, then that's going to be basically the Lydian mode, okay? But I'm playing just the same fingerings, but I just think of it as just E minor, if that clears it up. All right, tips to visualize going from one scale to a different one, like C Lydian, and then so like you're not modulating within that to the right. So the tip is to actually do these tips that I'm showing today, and then play them in as many keys as you want. I mean, you're not really going to superimpose in one improvisation C Lydian to C minor. So by doing these exercises, you're going to be able to, just as a symptom of doing this, be able to play C Lydian to C minor. That's not going to be a problem. No questions, just falling down the scale on bass. I use the pentatonic for modes. Minor scale with E sounds okay. Cool. I think that is the hyperdrive. Just that, I think it is. I can't point. It's a Kiesel hyperdrive. Absolutely beast of a guitar. So, Paul, I use the cage. I use the cage to spice up the rhythm, just to visualize shapes. I may have missed to follow the chord progression. I take notes of the change of the scale. Yeah, I mean, I've never used the cage. I've never really used the cage system. I use the cage to find notes within the chord changes for, yeah. Morning, Jeff. How you doing? Yeah, you would add a minor penta to make it sound Spanish. Okay, cool. So, back to our visualization exercises. So, another really useful visualization method I like is start using arpeggios. And then linking those together. So this is a really cool thing to do. Right. So now we're in E minor. And what we're going to do is just visualize the notes around certain arpeggios. Okay? And you can do this with all of them. Right. So for me, I really like this G major 9 shape, right? And it connects beautifully to an E minor 9 and to another C major 9. This is all in the key of E minor, okay? And then we've got another one up here. And that one I just keep as a straight minor because we don't have the major interval there. It would mean we'll be on that C note. Sounds a bit weird. So we can link these patterns and we can link them to various scales. So this is sort of like the next level, is where we start linking different scale ideas together, all right, with the arpeggios. So for example, things that we've got, okay, we've got this constellation of notes. And then we've got the idea of jumping either side of this to do a solo. But we've also got our pentatonic boxes as well. So let's just say we know this root position. So we've got that as a visual. We can also use octave repeat there. So that's another way we can get ourselves about the fretboard. And then we can add sort of arpeggios in as well. So an arpeggio that's going to work really well with this is this G major. You love all these shapes, arch projection. That's cool. What a way to go to bed, listening to this. So, what we can do is we can learn an arpeggio shape like this. And then think about what scale ideas exist sort of around it. And then link little bits of pentatonic scale. So, as long as we know sort of our scale on one string, even if we just knew the first string, we can use this as like a little road to get us about, okay? So, here we go. This is the arpeggio. We've got first finger, and then we've got our fourth finger on the 14th fret. We've got our second fret, second finger on the 12th. 11th fret, first finger, hammering on the fourth finger to the 14th, second finger on the 12th, first finger on 10th, hammering to 14. So we can add other scale notes in with this, right? And we can find different areas, and I would encourage, again, just going either side of this. So there, I can get neatly into a pentatonic idea. Have a listen. And then go one the other side. Add a bit more of that arpeggio. Mixing up with a bit of pentatonic there. Pentatonic. Okay. Our next pattern, B minor. Oops. Do it this way. Linking pentatonic. Okay. Now what we can start doing is So in short, I mean, what's kind of happening there is I've got this core position here, and then I'm just moving either side of it. But then we can kind of take the next position down. That's if we took this. So just like a basic minor 7 arpeggio or a minor 9 if you want. So we've got first finger, fourth finger, third. And then what we can do is we can play either side of that position, combining this arpeggio with it, and whatever kind of scale stuff happens down here. So... Okay. So there's loads you can do just with those 2 arpeggios. Okay. Let's go this way. So let's visualize is our pentatonic. Let's go to this B minor. So you can link them together. And what you'll do is you'll start seeing more than just these arpeggio shapes. You'll start seeing the fragments of other scales appearing. We'll just have a little bit of oh, I've got a headache, you know. I've had a headache all morning. Right. Learning to add seconds and sevenths and ninths into the arpeggio really opened up my playing. Right, we're gonna come to some cool stuff in a minute. It does contain the B minor arpeggio. There you go. Well spotted. Arch protection. So it's like we've got the, it's the same set of notes, isn't it? But we're just accessing them with different kind of finger positions that are giving us different limitations, I suppose. So there's a different set of limitations. When I'm doing that on that G major. That's quite nice, isn't it? Going E minor 7. What was I going to say? Right, everybody following this so far? I'm not losing anybody. Good. Now, the beauty of doing sort of these lives, right, is it's interactive. So if you've got any questions, right, just put them up, because I don't mind changing. I'm freestyling here, okay? I'm just going through what I remember of how I visualize the fretboard, right? But if you've got questions, that's way more important than what I've got structured here. So just say. How do you go about practicing and linking these fragments? Brilliant question. So what I like to do is improvise, okay? And I might bring sort of like practice in 3 different sections. So there's different ways of doing it. So one way is I'll pick a position that I'm uncomfortable with on the fretboard. Okay? Or a finger pattern that I'm uncomfortable with. And I'll start using that as a limitation, okay? And just get used to the sound of it. And then what I'll do is I'll start building. When I get comfortable with that, then I'll start building in shapes either side of that pattern. So I'm just starting to have a little bit of a nibble there at the position above. Position 4 I'm in on the E minor pentatonic. So I can now start exploring other bits. Now I might have that as a limitation, where I just use maybe these 2 strings. And then you start coming up with interesting practicing nibbles. Yeah. We're nibbling. Nibble. Bit of a nibble there. Oh, what's down there? Oh, then you might find another position. Oh, I like that. What's either side of that string? Okay. Yeah, practicing nibbles. Yeah. So it might be that you just start sliding about, okay? And then you find other areas which you like the sound of. But actually just practicing in an area on the fretboard that you're uncomfortable with and trying to get the feel and emotion into that is a great way of practicing and fun. Self 2 just kicked in. It did for me there, yeah. But that's great when that happens. Just let it happen. I know you're practicing. But, you know, like practice like this is going to get you in the flow because it's melodic, it's fun, you're getting backing tracks and you're just doing like little experiments all the time and building up this network of licks and visualized patterns and stuff into muscle memory. So again, like if you're just learning your pentatonic scales and you're in the root. Oh. Hi, Just Bass. How are you doing? If you're new here, do subscribe. Hello, mate. Any tips on how to memorize different fretboard tunings? Working on E standard drop on my 7 string. Yes. Well, the 7 string is just a B, so you're just mirroring what's on the second string on the 7th string. So that's how I kind of visualize it. So then what you're going to do is you just practice your scale positions, moving down across the fretboard in all positions. So whatever I'm doing here, right, you're just going to apply with that extra string. That's it. So you're just extending, really. You're just extending it. Drop G is quite... I've never really experimented with like drop tunings, to be fair. Right. Any other questions? Have we got any other questions? Right, I'm just thinking. So yeah, so the one string thing's really, really good. And I've seen a number of sort of players who recommend this. Greg Howe was one, actually. He's got like a little tutorial where using the third finger. So you can think of it like a road. And you might find an interesting area. Imagine it was a map, right? And you find a nice little village. You know, that was quite good. Okay, ways to connect two string arpeggio octaves. Alright, cool. So, good one. Right, so this will be shred-tastic, I would imagine. It's exactly the same. Well, any of these you could use as a Phrygian, so I could change into like, you know, into the Phrygian mode in E minor, couldn't I? Into B. And then this would all work. So I'll change the chords in a bit. But arch, right? Basically, so this will work over any mode, right, that you're doing. It's all the same. Okay? Shred-tastic, yeah. Oh, this is going to be good. Right. Two string arpeggios. Well, we're going to extend them, alright? So, first one, I think we might do. We've got a G major. Sorry, not G major. A minor 7. And all I'm doing here is, if you think of A minor, that's technically two strings. I can just add the 7th down here. And that's it. And then octave repeat. Absolutely brilliant. Look how it links into all the other stuff, you know? So yeah, that's just the 7th down here. Root, minor 3rd, 5th. And you got loads of these, like just earlier on. There's like a C major 7. There's a G major 7. Oops. So now I can link that to that if I want to go that way. So there's another little connection. There's another like C major 7. So again, all I'm doing here is, there's the root C, putting the major 7 behind it, major 3rd, 5th, oops. Now if I did that, that's going to be like Phrygian, isn't it? Just moving B minor 7 to C major 7. But again, this octave repeat thing, you know, all right, in the same way as you can, yeah, so now what we can do is we can do them on one string, can't we? So we think diatonically, say 2 strings, or Joe Space, I'll cover that in another lesson. Okay. So if we go up the E minor scale, just on 2 strings, we've got E minor 7, we've got this sort of like A half diminished thing going. But I see it as part of D7. So E minor 7, half diminished, and we've got G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7. That's like a flat 5. Oh god, what is that? That's like D7 and E minor 7. So we can connect those and we can just find the positions that sound really good. So just having a listen and playing through them. Sounds alright. Not so keen. It's because it's got that. It's that C. G major 7. Sounds good. So you might then curate different positions, sorry, like that. So we've got something there. Got that avoid note in there, so I'm not keen on how that sounds, or that one. So I've got a few sort of like sounds I really like, and I'm going to connect on those 2 strings now, and I'm going to combine that with other notes either side of it. So yeah, you could take so you can take those positions, and it's another way of jumping off into other areas, isn't it? So you might really like this position. Then what's happening here? combining another scale position. I made that choice because I jumped to there because I'm avoiding the C, because I know it's going to sound a bit weird. Unless I kind of use it as a passing note or emphasize it as part of a main melody. Yeah. So that's cool as well. Just adding that note in. So I hope that answers. That was a great question, by the way. Two-string arpeggios and some platonics are sure a win. Yeah, because it's a win because we're always going to land on notes that sound good. But the finger patterns and that just give you a different set of limitations to work with. And I think when you're working within those limitations and those different patterns, it also gives you a way of listening to them separately, but then also working out ways of linking them in a kind of seamless way. So there we have it. You know, I think, yeah, it's like, I shouldn't pick on it too much, but that, in some contexts, that C's just, like, in a minor is just horrible. Same with the major, it becomes the fourth and it doesn't sound very good. Alright, yeah, put the video example on, that would be great. Oh, sounds good, that pickup, doesn't it? Sometimes. See, I can use it as a passing note. Oh, it sounds off there. Doesn't sound too bad there. Oops. It just becomes a passing note. Yeah, that's a cool thing, so works every time, doesn't it? Yeah, so you just work little ways to get that C to sound good. Oh, I'm not sure about that. Oh, I've got a headache. Come on. Right. I originally hopped on YouTube to hear a solo challenge track, which is fantastic, and then and I'm here and I'm shredding my ass. Brilliant. I'm rewatching Narcos Mexico again with the wife. This reminds me of the music from that 80s era. Love it. So classy. Cool. You should probably get some rest, Hutch. Thank you for the great. Yep, that's okay. But I've got a full day ahead of me. I've got. I think I haven't had enough coffee. That's what it is. But no, I've got a big day of shredding. I've probably got another 2 hours of playing this morning, and 2 hours this afternoon, and then I'll be doing my review and like a little bit of practice tonight. So there's probably about potentially 5 to 6 hours of solid playing, not including this. The solo challenge. If you just check the Discord on Thomas's thing, that's all the details are there. All the details are on there. Right. Any more? I hope this has been useful. And obviously, there's more kind of traditional ways where we can, visualize the fretboard round a chord. Yeah. We're coming down harder. Oops. Thank you. We'll check it out. I greatly appreciate you doing these. I've had my live guitar interaction since my teacher 20 years passed a couple of years ago. Sorry to hear that. My old guitar teacher did pass away just in July, sadly. But anyway, and he was the guy, who taught me when I was very young to shred. Brilliant. So, I'm just trying to think. So tomorrow's live is on. Anybody got any ideas what we should do tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, I got to see him actually. I bumped into him into a restaurant. We had a meal together, just a month before his passing. It was really good. I got to talk to him, and I got to tell him how much I appreciated his help and stuff. That's cool. All right, there. How you doing? Really more 69. Yo. So we're just about to finish today. Actually, you just come on right at the end. But I'll be on tomorrow. So anybody who's on here, please subscribe to the channel, get the notifications and so you don't miss anything. I tend to just get ideas and just run with them. So anything could happen. So that's cool. And the other thing to bear in mind is, obviously we're doing a lot of guitar because that's what I'm very focused in. So doing these lives helps me. which is brilliant. But I will be doing some technology stuff at some point, so I need to get back and, because we're starting to talk about writing more McLaughlin and Hutch stuff. So I need to kind of have a look at ideas that I've been writing, and but I fancy doing some fresh stuff, thinking about McLaughlin and Hutch. So there'll be, some of those come up, so you'll get to see how I make a McLaughlin and Hutch track. Yeah, so you've been playing for 4 months. Cool. Excellent. Well, welcome. Yeah, so you can watch back this video. It's there for you to see just on YouTube. I think the other thing is just subscribe. Really more, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is just Tim Hutch, that'll get you there, Tim Hutch. And give a sub, get the notifications. Sort of any kind of guitar questions or anything like that you have, you can come on a live and just ask me and I'll answer them. There's also music. I cover a massive area, to be fair, of music related stuff. Chord stuff, right? Okay, we'll do some chord stuff. Excellent, thank you. Thanks for the sub. How to find chords within a key across 3 strings, right? We'll do some stuff with that. I'll just do general chord things, which will allow you to kind of get yourself there. Excellent. So that's me done for today. And I'll be on tomorrow, possibly with some, well, there will be some chord stuff happening tomorrow, so I'll do something with that. Yeah, okay, we'll do the basic one tomorrow, right? We'll do the basic one. And that's a Frankenboy lesson as well. Okay. Cool. All right then. See you all tomorrow morning for some chords. All right, bye.